I came across this awesome Minecraft video recently by Jake Kelton showing animated Minecraft flags using pistons. The dude's also made like working waterfalls, birds, and even moving boats in a new movement he calls Buildstone. It's where you use Redstone to enhance and give life to your Minecraft builds. Do you get it? And anyway, I felt so inspired, I've made some of my own. By now, you guys should be fully aware that I love to brag. And that's why I've got to say, Jake Kelton, you may have came up with the term Buildstone, but I've been doing it far before you. This is a working analog clock I made a good year and a half ago. I showed it off originally in a video about concrete powder, despite this having nothing to do with concrete powder. And if this ain't Buildstone, I don't know what is. And while the Redstone isn't exactly the best because it's, well, made by me, it really goes to show that I know Buildstone when I see it. And that's why I'm back, baby, with a whole bunch of other stuff I've made. Well, the first thing I came up with is let's say you have some sort of manufacturing or factory base. What we can have is an input stream of a certain block, so iron ore, and then it's been compressed by a piston here into iron blocks. And to me, this is a really cool illusion because legit, how am I doing this? Who knows? Whoa! Obviously, if I flip the trapdoor, you can see the magic behind it. So we have two piston feed tapes, right? You can sort of see the loop here, and then for the iron ore, we can see the loop here. And then we just have a mechanism to sort of swap them out where they converge in the middle. And the result is, you get this really cool effect. And of course, I've abused quasi-connectivity a bit to power this piston, so you can't even see. It's actually being powered by a redstone block up here going in and out, so hide it. I tried my best. Okay, so this next one is very specific. I don't know if people know about this, but you know Asian dry cleaners? I don't know why I'm specifying Asian, but for some reason when they're shown in media, they're always Asian. They have this automatic clothes rack which goes around in a circle, they hit a button and it's oh, I find your... I'm not doing the accent, stop it. If I just go back here, how this is working is pretty obvious. If I turn on the hitbox, you can see that the hitbox for an armor stand is actually slightly taller than what it appears, and it's just enough that on 2 layers of powdered snow, it gives it just enough height so that if there's water above, it does flow with the water, so it's just a big loop. But before I show you my next invention, first a word from today's sponsor, Coopert. Have you ever gone to an online checkout, seen the price, and then regretted adding 15,000 bags of popcorn to your cart? I know I have. But don't worry, with the free browser extension Coopert, I can save enough money to never question my integral purchases again. Coopert automatically finds you the best coupons available, as well as comparing prices across over 200,000 stores. So you know that no matter what, you're getting the best deal out there. And it is super easy to download as well. I literally did it in 3 clicks, went to Amazon, and it was already finding me coupon codes and ways to save money. God damn! So join me and over 8 million weekly active users in using Coopert to save money now by checking out the pinned comment or the link in the description down below. Okay, so this next one is a contender for possibly one of the lamest things I've ever shown on the channel. But you know those baby rides at malls? You know, the ones which just go up and down? Well, this is my idea of one. So if I hop on the seat here and I flick the lever, whee! We just go up and down. This is it. This is all this does. And of course, I've made a little jukebox tune to play along as we're doing it. Stupid. So moving back to the more industrial builds, because I think they lend themselves to Buildstone really well. Imagine if this is a factory floor, right? And this is a conveyor belt. These are meant to be ingot molds. And when I hit this note block, this big cauldron of what is meant to be molten gold, it drips out a drop. And then it slowly goes down into the ingot casting mold. And then when it finally goes in, God, you're slow, the lava dries off and solidifies into a bar of gold. Woo! But of course the conveyor doesn't move, so it eventually resets. I mean, dude, wouldn't that be so cool if this moves? I don't know if that's possible though. You know, sometimes I wonder if people consider me a Redstone YouTuber despite not being very good at Redstone. And if you've ever thought that, well, this is how I do my delays. Just a bunch of repeaters in a line. That's embarrassing. So this next build is like the Redstone equivalent of like copying someone's homework and changing it a bit. So I have like this Redstone display, which is like meant to be like a meter gauge. Okay, have any of you like been in like a city on like a really hot day and they have like those big digital like temperature displays? This is like my Minecraft version of it. So over here we have like blue for cold, green for temperate, and like red for like a hot day. And then this activates like every like night and every day. So if I do like time set midnight, we'll see how hot or cold the night is. So the gauge is going up. And, oh, it's a hot night. Oh, I can really feel it on my pig skin. Let's say you have like a nice tree. What if you had like two people with like one of those bandsaws like trying to chop it down? So what we have here is like a bunch of trapdoors meant to be the saw. And we have our like two workers here. And like the stairs meant to be like, oh, where they're carving it in. By the way, did you know that shulker boxes don't attach to slime? This is the coolest thing ever. I literally had no idea about this. The one funny thing with this build is I decided to put like a bird's nest up here. So when this tree inevitably falls down, this bird and his egg are gonna die. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, you should prepare yourself for this next part, because this is going to be me 20% showing a build and 80% me complaining about redstone. So I had this idea of like a shark fin going through the water. So if I show this, you can imagine like, ooh, it's a shark, he's coming around in the water, ooh. Slimestone would be so much easier if the build cap for like piston push limit was raised. For some reason, pistons can only push 12 blocks, and that includes the slime itself. Which means to get like a working mechanism plus the actual stuff to like make it work, this takes up the majority of the 12. 12 is not a big number, right? So like, okay, so consider this, right? This mechanism, this is already taking up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you wanted to then, like get this bigger to move something else, that's probably going to be like 3 extra blocks. That brings you to 8. And then you only have like 4 decoration blocks to actually plop on the damn thing. Here's something. Why is the piston push limit 12 to begin with? So consider a chunk, right? A chunk is 16 by 16. If you look at wool, there's 16 colors of wool. If we look at terracotta, there's 16 colors of terracotta. Even torches, you get 16 different light levels. Redstone has 16 power levels, but pistons, for some reason, have 12. And it doesn't make sense. I legit don't know why it's 12. It's so odd. Now, I know what you're wondering. Gerg, why am I looking at footage from Grand Theft Auto 5? Are you really trying to branch off from being a Minecraft YouTuber already? Stay in your lane, you goddamn freak. And don't worry, everyone. I know to keep contained to my box. Hey, at least I'm not trying to promote a Twitch stream like everyone else. No, I wanted to show you this building over here. You see how it has like these elevators on the outside where it's just like a 2D texture just going up and down? Adds a nice little flair and detail, right? Well, why don't we try and build the same thing in Minecraft? So what I've decided to do is just repurpose my 9/11 Twin Towers build, and I've decided to add some redstone lamps to the south tower. So now we can see like lights going up and down, and this sort of looks like elevators. We can see people like moving about the office. They're going pretty high up. Hope nothing goes wrong for them. I don't know if lights would bleed this much. Maybe if you had like some other like lights on in the building, it'd actually look really good. But I think this adds like a really nice visual flair to your builds. And while I was driving around GTA 5, I remembered about these oil fields down in the bottom right of the city. And I saw these like oil pump jacks and I thought, damn, wouldn't that be really cool to like try and build in Minecraft? So this is the one I've built in game. You can sort of see the resemblance. It's really hard. And what I can do is we have this sort of like flywheel here. If I power it up, we can see this starts spinning, which powers this thing to which like lifts up the arm. And then the actual drill gets pushed down into sort of like the drilling area. I have no idea how these pump jacks work. I know nothing about them. What I've done here is I've got like a desert biome and I've just scattered like a bunch of them about. And like this, to me, this looks really cool having like all these oil pumps. There's nothing more I like in this world than destroying nature. You know, this biome used to be a forest before I arrived. So that's my video on Buildstone. If you want the schematics for anything I've shown in this video, or anything I've pretty much ever built ever, it'll be available in my Discord. The link will be somewhere in the description. So that's about it. And how do I usually end videos?